I would like to invite to the stage somebody that I believe when you hear this story, you will not only feel compelled, you will feel, I can't tell you what you can feel, and we can't force you to feel anything. But I'd like, if you wouldn't mind, please give a warm welcome to Josette Sullivan. Please come up to the stage. You want to sit?
No squirrel.
You can say squirrel.
I always tell Steve First of all, I want everybody to know I am wearing the first experience t-shirt that Building Champions ever put on. And I know, it's one of the meetings that I just think everyone who goes to it is already successful. I know that there are names out here that I've heard of for years and who, have put those numbers, and I've just done great things. And I think we're all here, and we should be congratulated because we want to take it to another level. We still have that passion. A little bit just about me, because some of you probably don't even know who I am. My name is Josette Sullivan. I'm a Colorado-born native, which you don't find too much of, I know. Let's hear it for the natives. Was born and raised in southern Colorado, grew up with parents who were Irish Catholic and World War II generation. So just really have a lot of great strength from that childhood. I work for Cherry Creek Mortgage, best company around, by the way, I got to tell you that. The faith and leadership that I have for our company is outstanding, and they have also allowed me to be here today to kind of tell a story and a journey and kind of tell you why action plans are so important. But before I get to that, I also want to tell you that I have a branch down in the Cherry Creek area of Cherry Creek, so we're Cherry Creek. And that branch is made up of some very awesome, incredible people who are young, who are aggressive, who are building their business. So last year when I came to Building Champions, I had some very specific plans that I brought with me. Certainly had my life plan with me, had my vision, had some other things. But being that I'm one of the older people in the Cherry Creek branch, I knew that my challenge was a lot. My challenge was that I wanted to make sure I could bring a lot of energy to these young originators who were building their business and families and lives. I also knew that in the next 10 years, when I looked at my life and where I wanted to be, is that also included wanting to be retired, wanting to know what I wanted to do. And being in your 50s is a whole different season in life. It comes with a lot of joy, but it also comes with challenges. The challenges are family, wanting to be there with them, knowing that they are getting older and that there are times when, you say goodbye to parents. You could be seeing brothers and sisters going through things. You could see nieces and nephews growing up. And you want to be there for them. And that was one of the things that I really wanted to do. The other thing that I can tell you is I also wanted to be there for my branch. Going into 2011, we all know the changes that were coming up. I knew we were going to lose some folks. Great folks, but we knew that, with those changes, there was going to take a lot of energy to get it through us all. So last year, in September of 2010, anybody who wasn't at the experience, we used to have these evening breakout sessions. And of course, why would I think that I would want to attend an 8:30 breakout session? And that was 8:30 at night. I mean, here you go all day. But I'd kind of had this very specific voice going on from my heart and my brain that said, boy, I really want to map out that 10 years. I really want it to be great. So one of the areas that I really looked at and walked away from the experience with was the health plan. My health was great. It wasn't that it was bad, but I still needed to be even healthier. I wanted to be there for my family. I wanted to make sure that I was healthy enough to really enjoy the lives that they were having. And, you want to be there. And I tend to be in my family, I have all brothers. And if you've ever grown up in an Irish family, we'll just leave it at that. I tend to be the strong one in the family. And, we all kind of, we get along great, love them dearly. But I always knew I sort of had that strength even though I was the youngest. So it was very, very important to me that I be present in their lives and that I be healthy. Because one of the things that I really noticed in the 50s, it's that time frame when you have a lot of struggles and there's a lot of things hitting you in the sense of things that you can't control. So I attended, it was Coach Kelly at that time, I'm sorry. Yes, it was Coach. Yes, Christine. And she was so passionate. Here it was 8:30 at night. We had arrived. We had traveled all day. And I thought, what am I doing signing up for an 8:30 class on health? It's not that I was ever in bad health. So I decided to attend that, and she had such passion for what she was talking about that I thought, you know what? One of the best things I could do for my family and for the next 10 years is be the healthiest I can be. And it wasn't that I was in bad health. I actually was in good health. But I said, I want to lose 25 pounds. I want my BMI to be a certain thing. And I don't want to lose 25 pounds and do all these things by dieting. I want to do it by really great nutrition. I want to just change that whole habit, just change it completely. So that was one of my plans. The other plan I had is I knew that there would be a lot of things in the next 10 years that were pretty much out of my control. And I've always grown up Catholic, still practicing Catholic today. And one of the things is I wanted my God and my faith account to be stronger. It was always, I had a good heart. I was faithful. I was there, but really wanted to ask and to hear the voice of God in my life. So, it was great. Go into the Advent season and the Lent season for the Catholic Church, and it is, one of our most holiest seasons. Attending a Mass every day, adoration, fall in love with. I've always done the Stations of the Cross during Lent. I'm in love with the Stations of the Cross, and really just put more into adoration and faith and prayer. So I kind of started out in 2011. Great. We knew there would be a lot of upheaval in our branches. We knew there would be a lot of upheaval in the industry. And as a result, get through April, I lost 25 pounds. My BMI is perfect, feeling great. But I have some stress in my life, as we all did, from the April changes. So about the end of April, I get the old acid reflux. And I thought, boy, what's this all about? Is this a 50s thing too? And so I go to see the doctor and goes, you have an ulcer. 99.9% is an ulcer. May have a kidney stone, but we think you have an ulcer. Let's put you on this medication. You need to give it 4 to 6 weeks to work. Great. Well, after 2 weeks, I'm a very impatient person. And the thing about it is that I usually bounce back from things just like that. So, of course, I go in and I kind of bug him and I say, I might feel okay, but I'm not feeling great and I'm tired and we got loan officers leaving and it's just a mess. And I'm tired of being tired. The other thing I had been doing since I had left Building Champions last year is I immediately had joined a gym with this group of ladies who were just wonderful. Met with them at 5:30 every morning, 3 times a week, religiously. Didn't miss a one. We, got out there, signed up for the Relay for Life, signed up for all these great things, and just, really had this great little community going on of wanting to, all get our health to where it was. Well, I still went back to the doctor and I said, what, maybe I do have that kidney stone you're talking about. Maybe you just don't have the diagnosis right. He said, you really haven't given it enough time. And I said, no, I have insurance, I'll pay. And I almost had to beg them to let me go ahead and explore it. He goes, okay. He goes, fine. We'll schedule you for an ultrasound and we'll schedule you for an endoscope and we're going to prove to you that you have an ulcer and you need to wait 4 to 6 weeks and let the medication take its turn. Well, on May 27th, which was the Friday before Memorial Day, at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I was diagnosed with stage 4 pancreatic cancer. Mine is inoperable and it's not curable. If you don't mind, I'll just take a minute. At which time, and then at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I met with the first oncologist who said, you will not be alive in 60 to 90 days. We will give you some chemo to keep your life and your pain and everything controllable, and we'll give you a life-ending drug that will give you an additional 2 weeks. But you need to go home and you need to take care of your affairs. So that was a pretty tough thing to be dealing with on Memorial Day. But then from there, the voice of God really hit me. And I started to say, this is not in my hands. Totally not in my hands. It was something that I had requested and said, Lord, things that are not in my hands, I'm not going to take control of. I'm only going to control those things that I can. So what happened is I started making calls, and at that time I decided to stay home. I wasn't doing really any family things, and I needed to get my flowers in, because by gosh, you got to get your flowers in on Memorial Day. So, very important thing to do. So, and then the next morning, and so what happened is I started getting a hold of family, knowing I was going to just give them, really wreck their Memorial Day weekend. And then the next thing I did is I got a hold of a gentleman in our company named Stacy Harding, because I had intended to resign. I did not want to bring this diagnosis into my workplace. I thought, what's the point? And so immediately, Stacy, we prayed together, and he immediately said, do you mind if I tell people? I said, oh, no, I've got to tell everybody anyway come Tuesday when the branch opens up. So it was funny because I said, Stacy, I don't know if I want to even do the chemo, because who wants to be beat up? Who wants to be in that bad a shape and only have 60 to 90 days left? And I said, but however, maybe I can get this extra 2 weeks, and who knows, maybe make it to Labor Day. So at that point in time, Stacy goes, what do you mean? You're not going to battle? And I said, well, do I really want to be that beat up? And, who knows if insurance is going to pay, and I could end up being bankrupt, and why would I not want to give money to my family? Why would I not still want to complete all those things I've worked so hard for? So he said, no, you're battling, and don't talk about resignation, and, we're gonna pray for you. So the next day, I slept great that evening. I mean, I never slept so great. Slept all night, no acid reflux. Got up the next morning and made a really great decision. I went ahead and kept my pedicure and manicure appointment that I had scheduled, and I thought, I'm going to put in my flowers, and I'm just going to start calling, and I'm going to get some second opinions. I'm going to find out a little bit more here. And then I made a really, really great decision, is I spent Sunday and Monday cleaning out my closets and giving away all my clothes. My thing was I didn't ever want my brothers and my family to have to pack up a home, and I thought, I've got to get all these things. So I spent most of the weekend back and forth from Goodwill, giving away things, giving away clothes. And then on Tuesday, that's when I decided, I'm going to start making the calls. I ended up getting 5 consultations in and talking to a lot of good people. And here is where my action plans made a difference. For whatever reason, the voice of God got me to the right people. I have a phenomenal oncologist in Denver who wasn't certainly the first choice, but for some reason, the doors kept opening. And when you're first diagnosed with something like this, your family just... it's like, I know this person, I know that person, I know this person. Emails were flying in, and people were saying, you got to call this person, you got to call that person. And so I feel like I'm dialing for dollars. I'm calling all these people. And then all of a sudden, I was talking to my brother one night. I said, I can't even get all these calls in, and you don't always get called back. And he goes, well, who's calling you back? And I said, well, so-and-so called and so-and-so called. And he said, maybe that's the voice of God telling you who you need to follow up with. And he was absolutely correct. I ended up with an oncologist in Denver who only treats my cancer. And this is what was really, really amazing about it, because I took an action plan. Not only was the action plan that I really wanted to hear the voice of God in my life, and I took action on that, and I did things, and I became closer and closer, but due to the fact that I was incredibly healthy, I was able to go on a new clinical trial. It's only been out not even a year, and it is specifically for pancreatic cancer patients who are stage 4, who are inoperable and incurable. There's been less than 300 people on it, and of all things, it came from the country of France. So as I tell everybody, vive la France. So here I am, 109 days later. I passed the 60-day mark, the 90-day mark. My chemo's intense. I actually start chemo every other Wednesday, 9 a.m., and I finish up on chemo at 2 p.m. on Friday. I then return for 2 hours of recovery drugs. So I'm someone in front of you who is a survivor of 109 days. I still have many, many, many more hours to go. But if I wouldn't have chosen to have such great health, if I wouldn't have chosen to really listen to the voice of God, I don't think I would have been in these hands. I think I still would have been in the first oncologist's hands, and probably not on this stage by any means. But because I chose that and found and sought the right person, and I was healthy enough to do this, I was given an option of a chemo that has rarely been used. The other thing that I can tell you is that one of my other choices and things that I wanted to do is I really wanted to be here, because my intent is I don't think cancer is about dying. I think cancer is about living, and it teaches you to live, and I want to live, and my 10-year plan has tweaked. It's not changed. Don't know how many days I have or what's numbered, but I do know that because of those plans, because of that health plan, and because of my faith account and my God account, I'm I've been given an opportunity. So I had to do a little bit of juggling and rearranging and convincing my doctors to let me fly. But I wanted to be here today because I have plans, I have dreams, I have hopes. And I'm going to follow up on every one of them. I'm here for the action plans because I'm going to take them back. So I'm going to ask you from my heart to you, find an action plan. Dream it, feel it, put a voice to it. You don't know what the decision's going to be or how it's going to impact your life. Mine was 7 months later. And I can tell you, one of the things I love is I sat in on Steve's Hope and Reality. And you have the reality. I know my situation, and I know that my particular pancreatic cancer, it's a mean guy. It's a mean guy. 40,000 people are diagnosed per year, and 39,000 people are probably gone within 6 to 12 months. It's a very underfunded cancer. They don't know a lot about it, and it strikes healthy people. So maybe I shouldn't have gotten healthy. Just thought about it. Maybe that wasn't such a great action plan, Steve.
Not how I saw the ending.
No, but you guys, I really intend to live. I hope to be here next year. I plan on being here next year. My goal is to bring joy to the everyday life. I get up thankful every morning, and I go to bed with a great deal of gratitude. I've been surrounded just by incredible blessings. So I guess I'm just going to tell you again, take your action plans to your heart. I don't care whether it's vision or life or just something you got to do at the office. It will make a difference. It can change your whole life completely. So that's kind of my story. And I always like to end with, and I apologize, everybody at Cook Street, you've heard me say this a million times. I always like to end it with love life, live life, bless life, live well, safe travels, and God bless.
Better than I thought.
I got to use Viva La France. When does the scroll run around?
No.
I have to stay up here?
Well, that's a whole heck of a lot better than 22 points.
Well, I was kind of looking forward to it, Steve.
The one little nugget that you need to know is before we thought to even ask you to do that, she had made the decision to come here. And she juggled her chemo to get here. And we were overcome because your just desire, and you told me in a session, she's like, I just need to be around those people. And so I can't think of a better way to compel you guys. And I know I can speak for her when I tell you she's not looking for a bunch of sympathy.
Oh, no.
But if she could be a part of having people go back and say, I'm going to get real and I'm going to do some stuff, then she's fulfilled a great butterfly effect in her life. So thank you so much, and thank you for being here.
Thanks,
Thank
Steve.
Thank you. You'll see a whole bunch of us wearing these bracelets and this pink one, pinkish purplish. I'm not good with colors. This is you, Josette. We love you. Daily prayers. Daily. Live well.